55-mile-per-hour speed limit in California to end, you'd only head to Sonoma, because every Wednesday night the Sears Point Raceway opens a quarter-mile stretch of road to all comers. You're free to go as fast as you can in whatever vehicle you can get your hands on. Night Beat's Tom Sinkovich reports.
If it looks like a drag race and sounds like a drag race, then it must be a drag race. But Wednesday nights at Sears Point Raceway give the sport a new definition. Yes, there are the kinds of cars you'd expect on a drag strip, the ones that are nearly as fast as they are loud. But why is this thing rolling up to the starting line? And is this driver more interested in videos or in racing? It is Wednesday night when anything goes, provided it can make it to the finish line. Ever wonder what an 81 Omega would do flat out on the quarter mile? Tom Rose found out.
Last time it was 67 miles an hour.
Wow!
Yeah.
That must have thrown you right against the seat.
Yeah, set you back.
Here, teenagers have their own category, where even Mom encourages them to step on the gas.
She thinks it's a good place for me to learn about power and how to make a car go fast.
As opposed to?
As opposed to doing it on the street.
Sometimes it's best that Mother not know. Whose Cadillac is this?
This is my mom's.
Does she know you have it?
Actually, she does. She was nice enough to let us borrow it for the night.
Does she know what you're doing with it?
Yeah.
Practically anybody can race in practically anything. All you have to have is a driver's license and some kind of vehicle. And if you don't go faster than 14 seconds, you can take your girlfriend along with you, or your boyfriend. 14 seconds approaches 100 miles an hour. Not quite fast enough for landscaper Phil Thompson, who has tinkered so much with his engine it devours fuel. You drive this to the job every day?
Not no more.
How come?
$3 worth of gas.
Realtor Kathy Ball loves the people who come here and the whole process of competing.
And there's a lot more things to think about and to do and to communicate with other people. I mean...
And you can tell it's so easy to hold a conversation, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it really is.
It is, really. It has the feel of a club. Some people prefer golf or bowling for their social competition. These drivers head for the drag strip.
70% of our clientele are out here every single Wednesday night. This is what they live and die with, is drag racing.
Many of them don't know what the coming week will bring, but next Wednesday they'll feel the need for what passes for speed. Tom Sinkovich, News Center 4 on the Night Beat.
Typical Wednesday night brings 300 cars, trucks, and motorcycles to that party. By the way, that Cadillac that you saw with the guys, the mother's Cadillac, was brand new when she let them take it out there. So.
It's like the Bay Area Autobahn.
Many of you like to watch the dirt track racing out of the fair. For most people, though, racing cars is strictly a spectator sport. But as David Winter reports tonight, there's a racetrack in the Bay Area that caters to those who like to do more than just watch.
We have a class for the full race cars who race for money. We have a high school class, mom and dad type car, street car. We have a class for that. A four-cylinder car, we have a class for that. We have a class for everything on Wednesday nights.
If you have 12 bucks, a car, and a stomach for speed, you can take on the drag strip at Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma.
At 150 miles an hour, it would take only, what, about 10 minutes to get from Tahoe to Reno. But who drives that fast? As David Winter reports, anyone who wants to at one Bay Area raceway, where they're taking a lot of the danger out of drag racing.
NASCAR racing is one of the fastest growing sports in terms of popularity, and it makes a rare appearance in the Bay Area this weekend. 70,000 people are expected to show up at Sonoma County Sears Point Raceway for this weekend's Save Mart Supermarket 300. It's the only California stop on the NASCAR circuit. One of the stars of NASCAR decided to try his hand at a different kind of driving while he's in the Bay Area, and Fred English has that story.
Taxi, taxi!
Can you believe it? Me driving a cab. Rusty Wallace still loves to race around, but this new San Francisco assignment tested his nerves and patience.
All right, buddy, move it. Get out of the way. Damn visitors. Don't they know where they're going? Been everywhere in the world and never had any streets like this before. Damn, I'll be glad when it's Miller time.
Rusty Wallace wins his first event of 1996. It was Miller time just 2 weeks ago when Rusty in his number 2 Ford captured his 42nd Winston Cup victory. But that was sandwiched between two other starts that both ended in dramatic crashes.
I've got more accidents this year than I've ever been in my entire life. You never go into a racetrack thinking you're going to have a wreck. I don't. I don't think we're going to wreck or have a problem. I mean, I've started a lot of accidents myself. It happens.
This stuff is maybe as scary as the actual track work, isn't it?
Well, I've been dodging people all day long. If people are weird out and get mad. And I know all the signs.
Rusty didn't even suffer a fender bender in this new job, but the 1989 Winston Cup champion did provide a few thrills.
He's a madman. He went the wrong way down one-way streets.
Hey, man, I'm stuck behind one of these things. Don't work. But I think I'll take a shortcut. Yeah, I've done a couple illegal things out here.
Auto racing keeps gaining more followers each year, and part of it is due to the accessibility of its stars like Rusty.
I guarantee you're not going to find Michael Jordan driving a damn taxi cab. It's okay, though. He doesn't get to see the city like I do. Lombard's my favorite. I like going down that real tight little road, and it's real pretty up there, too. Oh, Big Al's. Every big city's got a Broadway. Not real romantic looking, is it? There are some people trying to make a mockery out of us, make fun of us, the good old boys from South and all that. And that was that way about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's changed a ton now. People, I think, finally realize how important the sport is and how much joy it brings to people on Sundays.
So don't expect this North Carolina resident to quit his day job anytime soon.
$15.80. Pay up.
Besides, the money's not the same either. In San Francisco, Fred Inglis for the 10 o'clock news.
I think I'd walk.
Live from KTVU, Mornings on Cue. The #1 morning newscast in the Bay Area.
Meanwhile, a little safe and sane driving this weekend at Sears Point. The IMSA Series will be in town for the Toshiba Grand Prix of California. Along with the main event of the World Sports Car Championships, the Endurance Series will be run. One of the participants, none other than Jason Priestley of Beverly Hills 90210 fame.
This is Fox 14 News at 10.
This is one big racing weekend at Sears Point in Sonoma County, and I bet you know at least one of the drivers. Does this guy look familiar? And if not, it's probably because he's usually in a different zip code. Jason Priestley, the star of the Fox hit show Beverly Hills 90210, is also a race car driver.
You're connected to MSNBC.
What does race car driving have to do with computers? Well, a lot more than you'd probably think. These days, there's a PC in every pit along with all the other tools because a computer has become an important factor in winning the race. Race car driving comes down to one thing: which car crosses the finish line first? And when preparing for a race, the question becomes what can be done to maximize the performance of both the car and the driver. Over the years, that hasn't changed, but what has changed is how it's achieved.